Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author, The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So I got a quick little video, okay, for us to listen to. Here we go.
It says, don't question me. That does not mean don't have questions. It means don't question me. Similar, not to compare to God. When they say don't question God, it's not to say you can't be curious about God and have questions. It's saying don't question God's methods of getting things done. So you can have questions, you can be curious, but if a man say I got it, don't ask that man questions, because now it seems like you're questioning my ability to get it done. And in most cases you are, because you think you have a solution that might be better. And if you want to present that as a suggestion, we all ears. We got the suggestion box, but I'm still going to do it my way. Want to know why? Because if the ship sinks, guess who it falls on? The fucking captain. So as the leader, when a man say don't, when you get on a plane, you don't ask the fucking pilot a question. How much fuel did you put in here today? You trust a fucking stranger to fly you from here to North America, but you don't trust your man to do certain things, and y'all wonder why there is conflict in the household. You have to trust your man first. You shouldn't even be going on social media listening to a bunch of people that's not in your household. And I say that because you are taking outside perspective. Like, you don't know what this man's bigger picture is. So you don't know if what you think even fits. You see what you see from the perspective in which you stand, and not from his perspective. And the same could be said. So if he was to come in micromanaging you, why you using Todd and not Downey? Why are you doing this? Oh, this nigga's irritating me. He irking me. But y'all do the same thing to us and don't understand how it could be just as irritating. And when we say don't question us, it's like if you care, like even if a nigga leaving out the crib, yo, listen, what time you be back should be the only question. It shouldn't be where you about to go, where you about to stop, where you about. When a man says don't.
Now, I actually felt like he explained that very well. I think that a lot of people get this mixed up. Mostly women get it mixed up. Men, for the most part, have this understanding. I've only seen a few men sometimes like kind of miss the mark on that, because the minority of men have said, and I've heard it and seen it, I don't want her to ask me no questions, like none at all, which is ridiculous. But the concept that he is explaining here is reasonable and it makes perfect sense. And I need women to understand that. Don't question me, as he stated, doesn't mean don't ask a question. Because if you don't understand something, or you don't know something that you need to know and that you need to understand as a woman to do your role in the relationship, to make things work in the relationship, things of that nature. If he has explained or expressed wanting you to do something, but you don't really understand, you know what I'm saying, like how he want that done, or things of that nature, like you don't really get where he coming from with certain things, please ask questions. Please ask the question, because in that situation, the dumb question is the one that you don't ask. Even if he get irritated, it's like, yeah, okay, he irritated, but he'll be even more irritated if you don't ask the question, go about things the wrong way. Now, when he see it, it's like he don't like it, yet you didn't ask the question. And the first thing he gonna ask you is, why you ain't ask? That's the first thing he gonna ask. So it's not to mean not to ask a question. But what men don't want is to be micromanaged on their system, order, and structure. They don't want to be micromanaged on that. Basically sitting back and trying to basically dictate how the structure is given, or how the leadership is performed, or anything like that. This is an exercise in the trust of your husband's judgment, and the trust in his ability to do the things that he said that he wants to do and can do and going to do. Right? Because if you're constantly in a state of asking questions or being confused about things, then maybe the communication needs to be worked on or something. Um, maybe he needs to communicate it differently to you. And you need to be able to tell him, listen, I need it broken down to me like this, because you just kind of saying it and I'm not getting the details. And then when I go and do what it is that I think you want me to do, and then that's incorrect, like I kind of got to hear that. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like the instructions are vague, or, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of left to my own devices to figure stuff out, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So that would mean that communication needs to change to a thing that both of you are content with. He's able to communicate what he needs you to do as a wife, and you're able to receive that communication with an understanding and go ahead and do whatever it is that needs to be done to support. That way, you know what I'm saying, the support is given, the instructions or whatever it is has been communicated properly, you know, and everything is okay. But if there's a constant or consistent confusion, then both people need to look into how are things being communicated. Because even if he has really good leadership and he has it in his head how he's going to do stuff, and the stuff that he do will work, maybe that's not the issue. Maybe the issue is the way either which the communication is given or received. And I see this a lot when I'm coaching couples. So a lot of the times it be communication, miscommunication more appropriately. You know what I'm saying? One person don't get it, or the other person can't understand why the other person ain't getting it, you know, or whatever the case may be. And that leads to frustrations. So in order to alleviate frustrations, arguments, you know what I'm saying, things that nitpick the marriage apart, and in order to increase harmony and increase understanding, you really a couple needs to have better communication. And that communication can be greatly improved through trust. And I've told women how to trust a man's leadership. Test it. Test his problem solving ability. This was supposed to be done prior to marriage, right? Because the way that you test his problem solving ability is to apply his solution to a problem. Apply it the way he give it to you, not with additional things from you or from any outside external source. If he has, you know what I'm saying, if he addresses a problem in a certain kind of way, apply his method of addressing a problem and resolving a problem. If consistently the problems are resolved, then he got good problem solving ability. If consistently the problems get worse, they're not resolved, they're never really resolved, you know what I'm saying, or the problem just sort of continues and drags on no matter what, he probably doesn't have good problem solving skills. His problem solving skills are one of his 4 P's, and it's one of the really important parts of his leadership. Okay? So you don't really want to be tied to a man that doesn't solve problems very well. Okay, because what it's going to put you in a position of doing is trying to come back behind him and solve the problems. And what that's going to do is frustrate him, because he knows that that's his job. He's also aware that he's not doing a very good job, if in fact he's not. And you coming behind him to try to redo the job, that's only going to be a problem. And it's going to be a consistent, continuous problem in the relationship. It'll break the relationship up. So you have to be able to trust your husband's judgment. And on top of that, on top of trusting his judgment and on top of trusting his problem solving ability and things of that nature, you actually have to trust that he like you. You got to trust that your husband like you and that he want the best for you. You got to trust that. If there's any part of you as a woman that think your husband don't rock with you, he don't like you, he don't want you, and he don't care how you turn out, that's going to erode your trust. You're not going to be able to bring yourself to a point of submission and trust. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I may not know exactly, you know what I'm saying, like every step that he's gonna take, but I trust his judgment. I trust that he loved me, and I trust that he want to see us good. So since I trust that, I don't have to know each and every little step. You know what I'm saying? If he give me an instruction, it's fine. I can just follow that. I don't have to ask 1,000,001 follow-up questions, because what that reads off to him is she doesn't trust me. She doesn't trust that I understand the problem in order to resolve a problem. Or even if it's not a problem, that I understand the goal and I know how to reach it. So, women have that bad, trying to question. You basically trying to figure behind him. Like, I don't trust that he really understand what's going on. So I got to know his train of thought and like how he's doing everything, just so I can sort of come back behind it and make sure that it's being done right. But the problem with that for a lot of females is, if you could lead like that, you would need a man to lead you in the relationship. And you would not crave a leader in the relationship, because you're not that leader. And because even when you're put in a position to be the leader, you actually don't respect the man because he's not in that position. So what you want to do is you want to get a man that you actually love and trust, and that will minimize this whole, I got to question everything you're doing and I got to question every step that you take, because I'm not submissive, number one, and I don't trust you, number two. It's masculine energy at the end of the day. Because as the brother made an analogy, you don't want him nitpicking how you clean the house or how you wash the clothes or how you know what I'm saying? Like, that would get on your nerve. Man, you know what I'm saying? My favorite dish soap is Dawn, but every time he see me wash dishes, you know what I'm saying? He be like, man, why you don't use Palmolive? Like, cause I don't like Palmolive. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would be instantly annoyed. Why you mopping the floor like that? You should mop it like this. And then you would be looking at him like, what difference do it make? As long as the floor get clean, like, why you tripping? You understand what I'm saying? So the men think the same way. If he say, okay, we're about to do this, or I'm about to do this, your follow-up questions should not be in the strain of, well, how you gonna do it? Because I don't trust you know how to do it. If you just want a little bit of clarification, or you just want to talk about, oh, okay, baby, that sounds like a good idea. So you wanted to do that? Oh, okay. Oh. And a lot of times they be happy to say why, you know what I'm saying? Even really without being prompted. Yeah, because the way I'm looking at it, blah, 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 especially if y'all had those types of conversations and he feel comfortable having conversations with you. A lot of times you don't have to badger your husband about what he's thinking or what kind of goal he want to set or how he want to reach goals and things of that nature. Because if he's comfortable with you and comfortable having certain kind of conversations, he'll have that conversation unprompted by you. He'll just have the conversation because he's comfortable with it. And sometimes they like to verbalize a plan or a set of goals or a vision or a direction that they're going into, right? So please understand that he's not reporting it to you for permission to do it, which is also another aspect of that, like the constant questioning of different things, because it makes him, this is another part of that too, it puts him on the defensive because it makes him have to explain to you why and like his reasoning for stuff and like to defend it. And anytime a person feel like they got to defend themselves, like they don't want to answer those questions, because these are not questions just to have a conversation or questions just because you want to feel included or questions because you love your husband. These are questions that put him on the defensive because the energy behind the questions is, what is you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, explain it to me. Go into detail. Defend your position. Defend your reason and why you want to do that. Nobody wants to do that. And if you're the type of female that does that, this is probably why your husband has shut down and he don't really tell you nothing unless you really, really need to know this information. Right? He literally will not talk to you about different things that go through his mind, different plans that he had. And they still may do it in your best interest. He just ain't gonna talk to you about it because you don't know how to talk about it. You don't know how to talk about it without putting him on the defensive. Like, you can't be asking a million questions about everything. You see what I'm saying? Like he made a good example. If he's leaving out, well, where you going? Well, you picking somebody up? Well, you know what I'm saying? And all this other kind of stuff, because now right at the door, right when he finna leave or right when he getting ready to leave, you got all these questions because you want to know each and every step that he's doing. He don't actually owe you that. He doesn't owe you an explanation for every single thing that he's about to do anyways. And women need to understand that, because this is where a lot of little petty arguments be coming from. And this is where like the little blow ups and stuff be coming from. Like, why man? Why, you know what I'm saying? You always in my business, always asking me stuff. And then y'all want to get offended when he be like, don't ask him nothing. I can't ask you nothing. Not like that. You can't ask me like that. You better find another way to do it, or don't do it at all. Don't do it at all from that perspective. Don't do it at all from a perspective of trying to badger me or trying to make me answer to you. Low key trying to make me answer to you. Low key trying to make me ask you permission to do stuff, or feel like I got to walk on eggshells when I do stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to run it by you. Actually, he don't. There's only so many things he need to run by you, stuff that directly affect you. Other than that, he actually does have a set of things that he do that don't include you, and he don't have to answer to you about them. And as soon as women figure that part out, you'll be better. You won't have all of the arguments. Mind your business. Mind your business. Right? Because there's a such thing as your business and his business. Even if you married, there's a such thing. Because you don't want him questioning you about everything you talked about with your girlfriend on the phone. Like if he come in and you on the phone with your friend or your sister, and he start, well, what y'all talking about? Huh? Well, what y'all been talking about? How long y'all been talking? Oh, okay. Well, who is that? Well, what you don't want him, because you'll be like, what? Huh? You trying to figure out why he want to know. And it may not even be nothing that you had. It's just weird. Stop being weird, y'all. Stop being weird. It's weird. Certain questions and certain lines of questioning is weird. And you're indicating to him that you don't trust him and that you don't believe him. And that you don't believe he know how to get stuff done. And you low-key trying to tell him you can do it better, but really you can't. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.